What's going on, sports card hobby family? Alf and I welcome you to another episode of the Sports Card Dad. Today's topic, buy what you love, common advice. We always hear that in the hobby, but is it the right advice? This video was inspired by Victor, rookie card specialist, and a comic book channel that I watch, Comic Collector Geek. We'll be right back. Hello, hobby family. Before I dive in, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, DC Sports 87. Hey, it's the new year and maybe you want to sell some cards, but man, just don't feel like handling all the shipping and the handling and the listing on eBay. DC Sports 87 can take care of all that for you. You just send them your stuff, they list it up, they take care of all the payments, wobbity boom, bippity bop, and you are all set. So make sure to check out DC Sports 87. All right, this has become such a common theme, especially since the sports card market, sports card prices have moved down over the last 2 years. I am completely guilty of this as well, where somebody maybe on a live stream in the chat is like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that card? Or this player or that player? And looking for a little bit of guidance. And frankly, I think a lot of content creators, for the most part, I know a lot of my content creator friends are just a little bit gun shy about talking about specific cards or specific players because we have gone through such like a skyward high and a skyward low or down low, whatever, underground on the down low. Anyway, it was a big up and a big down. And so a lot of people, including myself, we don't want to dive into specifics because we don't want to lead somebody down the wrong path inadvertently, not on purpose, obviously, but just don't want to lead anybody down the wrong path. Everyone's got their own money to spend. I want you to spend your money however you're going to spend it. So people are just unsure about this particular topic right now. And that's kind of too bad because I think in a lot of instances, you have people that might be just getting back in or they've been back in and they're just looking for a little bit of guidance on something, but we're just not very eager to give it. I want to be accused of, oh, it's a pump. He's pumping, he's helping pump that player. He's helping to, he's trying to make some sort of a market move. And frankly, to be perfectly honest with you, in today's climate, I think that we're kind of outside of that zone now. I don't think that this channel has any sort of an impact on cards. I don't think people tune into me and think like, man, Dustin is going to talk about something and it's going to move the market today. It just doesn't work like that in today's world. In 2020, maybe in 2021, parts of 2021, possibly. But nowadays, people, A, have smartened up, or B, just a lot tighter with their money. So they're just not going to go out willy-nilly and buy things. Now, one thing I will say, though, is I am influenced by other channels quite a bit, especially over the years, and not just sports cards, but other collectibles, because it brings attention to a particular card or collectible. And I'm like, oh man, that's cool. I'm going to look into it. And maybe down the line, I end up buying that particular collectible. It happens all the time. So I understand kind of the way that channels can influence, but man, that could be any channel though. It could be a channel that's got 5 subscribers that shows just a really cool card. If I happen to catch it, I might be influenced to buy the card. So I don't know. This is kind of a tricky one though, because and Victor brings this up in his video to where we have to kind of give some sort of a little bit more, I think, than just buy what you like. Hey, do you like it? Okay, then great. That's perfect. All right, buy. Maybe part of the way we can do that a little bit is just ask a few other questions. Just, hey, what players or sports are you into? Or what are you looking to do? What is your overall goal? But let me back up. As I'm saying this, I'm thinking about it as I'm saying it. And there's been instances in the past where I've had someone that's reached out to me and they've been gung-ho for a couple of months and I've tried to kind of give a little bit of guidance, and I'm no expert, I'm absolutely no expert, but just basic stuff, basic guidance, and then I never hear from that person again. So there also is a time element where I've had this happen many times where you've invested some time and then, that person's gone, and it's a hobby. People come in and out of hobbies. So it's natural for people to be really into it and then not be into it the next year. It's fairly natural for that to happen. So I think that's another reason why people are a little bit, hey, do I want to put a lot of time into this person that I just met on the internet? Another challenge here is that there's no expert in the collectible space on everything. So if someone's just like, hey, what should I get into? That's really tough because there's about 100 questions. It's so nuanced. The collectible space has got to be one of the more nuanced hobbies on the planet. So trying to figure out like what could this person be into, I almost feel like there's got to be a starting point. I'm really into Drew Brees cards. Okay, well I'm also into Drew Brees cards, so I can help you a little bit there. I'm not an expert on Brees, but Brees, Tom Brady cards, and Stranger Things cards, those are three categories right there. I look at those cards every single day online. I'm watching them, I'm viewing them, I'm buying them, I'm looking at them in my collection. So like I said, not an expert on Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Stranger Things, I have a pretty good handle on it because there's just not that many sets. It started in 2018. So I am a pseudo expert, I would say, in Stranger Things cards, just based on the fact that it's not very deep. There's not a lot of layers to it. It's 5 or 6 sets. It's fairly easy to get a grasp on it. But most of my world is right there. That's my focus. And, you know, it might be a pre-war baseball card collector. That's really all they do. So if you come to them asking about, you know, modern football, they might not be interested in that. They might not have any clue what you're talking about or some non-sport or whatever. So that's also a thing that can make it kind of challenging is until you actually know what that content creator or that other collector, that other hobbyist is doing, it's difficult. I think a lot of guys flock to, you know, what they're interested in. So if you're interested in Michael Jordan cards, maybe you're going to Chris at Card Ladder and asking him questions, or you're going to Cajun Cardboard, Brian, you know, because those guys are heavy into Michael Jordan cards. So you know, okay, this is it's a like-minded individual collecting the same thing. And I think that's why you do have pockets of collectors / speculators / investors, whatever you want to call it. And they're kind of finding their lanes, and you have like kind of these, you know, cliques because of that, because you're collecting the same sort of stuff and you can bond on that. You know, that's something where I collect Drew Brees cards. When I have a Drew Brees collectors group, we can send out pictures of the cards we've got, and we know those guys are going to be like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. But not everybody's into Drew Brees cards. A lot of people are not. So, you know, maybe for you, it's Matt Stafford cards. Maybe there's a Matt Stafford card group. You know, so there's all these little pockets within the hobby. And I think if you're a new person, it's really, that's the biggest challenge, is kind of finding your niche, your niches, figuring out what you really like. Because I think that in itself takes time. I don't think you walk back in and you're like, this is exactly what I want to be collecting. You know, I think it takes time of buying into certain things, realizing, oh man, oh, there's that. Oh, there's this. You start finding other things. You might sell off some stuff to pay for that. It takes years, I think, to really kind of get a focus, and then you've got that focus, and then you can kind of lock into your collector groups. So this can be really tricky, but I'm going to try to do a little bit better moving forward. Hey, just get, oh, you like it? Great. Or buy what you love. And that's where that's almost like saying, I'm not interested in diving into this with you. You know, I mean, just buy what you love. You love it? Great. You know, and I understand why people do it. And like I said, I'm guilty of doing it as well. As we move into 2024, I'm going to try to do a little bit more. And like I said, I mean, you know what I'm focused on if you watch. It's Drew Brees, it's Tom Brady, and it's Stranger Things. But I'm interested in all different types of collectibles. So I'm always open. But I think what I'm going to try to do is try to steer people to resources, whether it be other collectors that I know that are big into that particular category, or maybe it's online resources just to learn more about the sets, learn more about what's rare, what's not rare, what are the pack odds here, what are the, you know, and just trying to kind of figure it out. Because like I said, I mean, there's just so many layers to hobbying, which makes it very tricky. But that's all I've got today, friends. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.